Hey, this is Brook. I'm a guitar teacher in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. There's not a lot to do here other than play guitar. And so I would like to make a video about what I call standard fingering for my students or anybody that happens to stumble across this video. If you do find me, please subscribe. That would be really, really cool. Thank you. And so what I'm talking about is the thing you learn out of any standard sight reading book, and then we're going to expand into some more rock and roll kind of things you do at gigs that might not line up exactly with what you read in the book. So there's kind of a variety of things you gotta know, but the basic standard fingering would be like just think of a C chord, and that would kind of summarize what I'm talking about. Index finger's gonna do first fret, middle finger does second fret, ring finger does third fret, and if you get into the fourth fret, try to get the pinky. Alright, another way to practice that might be just running up each string. And I did include the open strings, so that's just, again, index, middle, ring, pinky on all 6 strings with the open. Just a good thing to practice going up and down. And one little side note, when you, let's see, looking for a pencil, I use a lot of pencils at my lessons to kind of point out where I want people to press down, or I use the eraser to touch their finger. This finger, nope, that one, you know. So what I want to, excuse me, show you is go for the very tip of each finger, right in the center. Use that as a general target. You know, sometimes we'll lay more on this flat pad. If you want to get 2 strings, definitely a common thing, but for single notes, again, just the tip, 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 tip. Very cool. All right, now here's where it gets fun. So let's say I've taught my students that, and people will kind of, you know, if I'm not watching them, they'll play like you know, one fingering. I'm like, what are you doing? Or some variation. I just try to get you to do the simple, normal way, which is a little boring, but it is. There are benefits to doing that. But now, where we get into trouble is when we start doing power chords. I'll say, hey, show me an E5 or an A5, and if they can remember it, they're going to go like this. Because I told them use middle finger for second fret. And then I'm like, what are you doing? Because when you do power chords, it's going to be the pointer finger. And you might say, why? Why is it that? Well, because, of course, when you have your index here, you can go. Stuff like that. Index, second fret when you're doing E5. Then you can do these kind of rock riffs. And you're just basically holding down a pattern. And here's where you're probably laying flat with your pointer. Right here. Boom, boom. Covers 2 strings. It's just like almost an anchor or a placeholder or something to hang on to. So you don't, you know, you got to kind of hold that position in case, what if you slip down to the first fret or up? That's no good. So rock and roll. And the A will be over here. Exactly the same thing, just 1 string over. But there's another thing. if you're doing like the E blues scale, check this out. Then you might go back to your middle finger, because we're including this first fret note possibly. It relates to the chord, that major third. I might add it to the blues scale. And you noticed the A, B flat, A. For the B flat, so yeah. And to me, these are kind of hard, fast rules that I employ. I always do it like that. For the student, it's pretty confusing. It's like learning a language. You know, if you can learn a few words in Spanish, but you don't really know how to construct a sentence, it's still, you know, it's progress. But this is kind of filling in some of that secret in between the lines stuff. Oh, what else? Let's say you're doing like Led Zeppelin, Black Dog. So that's just a good example of fingering, you know, probably these 3 fingers. Kind of like Wipeout. Rip Off. Now I can't remember. Now we have a position shift. And back again. Position shift. Back. Position shift. And you're back to that A. So that's a kind of a cool example of fingering and positions. One more time, just because I'm having fun. Man, I dig that. So you'll be flexible as you learn to move up the neck, but again, there are some guidelines. You know, I had a student come in the other day playing that. What? I guess that makes sense. Instead of, I was shocked. And then there was one other note that was wrong. You know, she got it off of, I go, where did you get that? She showed me her tab on her phone. She got off some website. I'm like, that's not what the authentic transcription says. So, you know, again, we have some leeway, but once you have a neural connection, a neural pathway is formed, and you have to break that, it's kind of a shock to your brain, you know, because, but then you learn to enjoy, like, hey, I had a hard, fast connection here with that information. Now you're bringing in something new. And that isn't the worst thing in the world. If you can identify that as growth and learning, that's a good thing to overcome, to where you're, you know, if you freak out every time you get some contradictory information, that's kind of just a burden to carry around. So if you can identify it when you're getting challenged to learn a new way, if possible, try to jump with it. You know, like sometimes when a student has a song with a weird tuning and capos, I'm like, oh my God, do we have to? Okay. And then once I see how it works, I'm like, this is really neat. a totally different way to think. So thanks for being open-minded about learning some of these new, there might be a couple of new things in there for you. Some of it might reinforce what you're already doing. But anyway, I love to hear from you if you have any comments or suggestions. If you disagree, that's okay. Let me know what you think is incorrect about what I'm saying, and I might really enjoy that. So maybe I'll learn something from you. Okay, so thanks again for stopping by, and subscribing is just a very kind thing you can do for me if you would. Thank you, and I always love to see those thumbs up. It's all cool though, man. Just do what you're comfortable with, and keep working, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.